This week's podcast is brought to you by the Beefy Boys. Just three cool dudes hanging out, talking about sports, video games, music, and whatever else they feel like. Find them at their website, www.beefyboys.com. Also, where you find your other podcasts, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, all the regulars. The Beefy Boys, the best show on planet Earth.
Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Jess.
And we're the Deerfoot Sisters. Sorry to interrupt, but we have some breaking news.
We wanted to let you know that right now you're actually only listening to the second best podcast on planet Earth.
That's right. If you want to check out the world's best podcast, search Deerfeed on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, all the regulars.
Deerfeed's a podcast featuring two sisters talking about life and all the kooky things it brings, like rhymes.
So when you're done listening to this episode, be sure to check out Deerfeed. Or you can just do it right now. Thanks!
A good podcast requires a good beer. So that's why I always go to my go-to, Keystone Light. If I'm going to the store, I don't want to buy a 12-pack. I want to go for a legit 15-pack. When I go to a party, I don't take Rainier. I take Keystone Light. And you know what? It tastes so good, I'm going to have it right now. Cheers, folks. Yeah, there's a burp coming in. That's good. Welcome back to Beefy Boys Bud Club, folks. It's been a long week, but we are here now for the Spooktacular, and we've got our good friend Matt here from the Cinophiles Digest podcast, our first podcast guest, which is like I guess that podcast. Okay, what I'm trying to say is our first guest who podcasts.
Like my mom was on the episode last week. What are you talking? Oh, okay. Our first guest
that
podcaster.
Podcasts. Yes.
Yeah. Not our first podcast.
Welcome
guest.
to the party.
Thanks for having me, guys.
And I'm also joined here with Vito.
Yay.
And Joe.
Hey.
And the good thing is, Matt brought us beer.
Are we gonna crack them?
Yeah. So go ahead and give us a little. Give us a little update
rundown
on this beer since I don't know what the fuck this is.
So this is a collaboration with Chuck's Hop Shop. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
I do know them.
This is Aslan Brewing out of Bellingham, which is where close to where I grew up. And they actually just opened a Seattle brewery location in Fremont. And this is a juicy IPA. I know you guys aren't the biggest fans, but
that's pretty cool.
Hopefully this one.
So juicy IPA is different from a hazy IPA. How?
Yes.
Because I don't know how the
hazy
IPA
the hoppy one?
No, hazy is, a lot of the time if you have a juicy IPA, it's also hazy.
I mean, they're similar in the same way that death metal and power metal are similar, but they are unique. Hazy IPAs, I
don't know. I don't think I can make the connection from power metal and death metal, but
outside people looking in can.
Yes. People do tend to just classify it as...
A hazy IPA kind of has more of the flavor stays with you throughout. And also the clear, it's called hazy because when you dump it in a glass, it's cloudy, right? That's why. And the juicy IPA is, again, not as bitter as just a straight up IPA. It's got that big, fruity flavor.
It's good. It's good.
I'm glad you enjoy it.
From IPA, in my opinion, this one doesn't taste like shit.
Would you say that
it's not the worst thing I've ever had?
Your review would be IPA on this one? Ayo.
No, I like it. I do like that it's not so bitter. It's got a refreshing taste when you actually drink it. So it's not right off the bat you're getting struck with just nothing but bitterness. So I mean, I do enjoy it. I like it.
Yeah, I feel like most IPAs that very much give off the same feeling as when you're in an air-conditioned vehicle in Southern California, and then you get out and you take your first breath.
Jesus.
and you're like, wow, that was heat and death and dryness.
Can't say I've ever experienced that particular sensation.
Getting out of an air conditioned car in California, yeah, I can relate to that. Yeah. But
I know that feeling.
Don't know if I quite connect the dots in your metaphor.
Yeah, this Juicebox is making me feel a little bit better.
Juicebox, I believe.
Juice
feeling.
box.
Yeah.
From being juice bossed
like bitterness
myself.
in like the back of your mouth.
Would you get out of a car?
Well, no. When you take that like dry air breath and you're like, and you can't even breathe really because you're like adjusting.
That's the sensation you feel when you drink like a bitter IPA.
Yeah, I go. Because I
Been accused of being way too region specific before, but I think this is the most like, yeah, this is just like when you're in Modesto and it's really hot out and you step out of your air conditioned car with the desert smoke and everything. Like, what are you talking about?
So, you've got your podcast. Tell us a little bit about it, like how you got started, what made you decide to podcast? Because we've obviously told our story here where we were just one day, we all worked together. So we were like, well, all we do at work is talk, so we might as well fucking record it and put it out there so that we can talk about actual conversations. So, I mean, that's just kind of how we got started.
I don't
that
actually-
that was 1 year ago today. We
really?
had
Was it
our
today?
first legit recording.
I don't
Not
even
that
re-
fucking bootleg recording shit.
Oh my God, that was terrible. That breakdown table was
so
a million degrees in there. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a million degrees. We had the table with the broken leg. We had
the lost episode.
Vito and I were
Yeah.
trying to share the same microphone. Christian's computer
Yeah.
couldn't handle
my
the
computer
recording.
was literally gonna
Overclock.
overclock. Yeah,
You could hear
had-
the fan in the background.
we
Oh
had
my
no
God, it was
mixer.
bad. Oh, it was bad.
We
Oh,
weren't
we had the
using a
laptop
mixer.
fan 'cause
we
the
were doing the same thing you
laptop
were
was
just telling
running
us
hot.
about. So yeah, so tell us about your guys' story.
Sure. So the show is called Cinophile's Digest. It actually started as a blog that I did in college. I was probably 20 years old when I started the movie blog, and it was mostly just like doing reviews and like feature pieces and like the best movie streaming on Netflix you've never heard of, like shit like that.
Right.
To try and get like clickbaity
Some
type
like
stuff.
YouTube type videos.
Yeah, so I started doing that, and I first got into podcasts probably like 6 or 7 years ago. And I decided I wanted to do something movie related, but I didn't really have any friends who, one, would be interested, and two, had like the movie knowledge where they would actually like
Like
be
watch
good
a
at
movie
it.
and be able to break it down.
Right, and not just say like, "Oh, it was good," or "Yeah, no, I didn't like it very much." You know, like actually have like a conversation. So then the guys that I do the show with, their names are Travis and Tom. They're coworkers that I've had. I met Tom first, then I met Travis at my last job, and Travis is an even bigger movie nerd than I am. Like the guy fucking watches like 400 movies a year, or something like that.
Jesus. Who's got
I
the
watch
time for
I watch
that?
a lot, but not 400. So he puts the work in. And we've been doing it for it'll be 3 years in January. We do bi-weekly though. We don't do it weekly, just because of schedules and our
Sometimes
episodes.
we do it twice a week when we're feeling ambitious.
That's a lot. Yeah. Plus, I mean, we have to actually go out and see the movies, so it's
Right,
like
you gotta
dependent
have a-
on the schedule
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
stuff.
that makes
you know?
total sense.
So we do it bi-weekly, but
So do you guys like coordinate movies together? Like, do you go and see the movies together as like a podcast, or do you guys go and see it separately and then make notes? Or
usually we see the movies separately, just because like Tom, he's a new father, so like his
Okay.
schedule is all sorts of fucked up. Travis is always too busy playing Apex Legends, so it's like he just goes. We did just see The Lighthouse together, but that was the
Oh,
first time in a
shit.
while.
I want to
we've,
see
like-
that movie so bad.
It's fucking weird, dude.
I
It's a
bet,
weird
man.
movie.
A24 has got to be one of my favorite studios in terms of like the movies that they've been putting out as of recent. Like, when I made my list, a few of the movies that are on there are from A24. Obviously we're going to talk about that list, but one of my favorite like horror movies is Green Room. Mm-hmm. Just mainly because like aside from like all the spooky ghost shit I love to watch, like Green Room is like a it could be a real life scenario. Like you just never know it'll happen, but it could happen. And just the way that they make you feel watching that movie. That movie's so fucking gross. And
Oh, yeah.
it's great. But that movie makes me need to take a shower after I watch it. I'm like, fuck.
It's really tense. Like the
Gives you the
atmosphere in that
heebie-jeebies,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah, you're just like, God, get me the fuck out of here.
Neo-Nazis and shit, fucking punk music, and like I still think when I saw it in theaters, the funniest part of that movie was when the dude was like, and this is I mean, the movie's been out for a while, but spoilers to anybody who's hasn't seen it. But when they're walking through like the building when they first leave the room and they're trying to like get out of there, and the guy's like, "Oh, it's all good. I know where they keep the shotgun," and he gets his fucking head
blasted. Yeah.
I was the only one in the movie theater that busted out laughing. I mean, same when I saw what's it called, A Star Is Born.
Yeah, you told this story.
Yeah.
That scene is not funny.
Give it up for my husband, and they cut back and he's fucking hanging in the garage. I don't know what it was. I just fucking busted out laughing. It's fucked up, but it's hilarious. I think that caught me off guard so hard I had to laugh. But I mean, yes, Green Room, great film. I want to see The Lighthouse really bad.
Catch it quickly because it's A24 is not putting much money behind it, so they already like pulled back some of the theaters it was going to play in, and I would be surprised if it plays for more than like 2 weeks. Yeah, so I would get it while it's hot.
Is it a theater movie or is it something that I can enjoy here at home too? Because I love movies, but if they're, I mean, I'll
if you can't see him at $2 Tuesdays, you're not going. Is that what you're getting at here?
It's like if I don't see him at $2 Tuesday, I most likely won't see him. Or if it's not like a big release like The Joker or like It Part 2 or, you know.
I haven't gone to the theater since Avengers Endgame.
Same.
And before that, I hadn't gone to the theater since Infinity
War.
I saw Endgame on opening night and I wanted to fucking die. I hate packed movie theaters.
Well, why did you go opening night? What did you expect?
Well, I'm not going to not tell fucking Haley, no, we're not going to go see it. Just
you got to
because
go
I'm
during the
being too
day
big of a
on like a
bitch.
weekday. Nobody there.
Yup.
The 10 a.m. showing on like a Thursday. There's
Yup.
2 people in there.
Good idea.
That's great.
But yeah, so anyway, so you guys are old coworkers as well. Oh, kind of look at that. Old
Similar
coworkers.
origin stories.
But you said your 3 years is you guys just
coming up
passed
in
3 years?
January.
Oh,
It'll be
okay.
our third year, or that'll be the end of our third year.
Nice.
Do you do like, I admit I've never listened to the show. Do you do like one movie per episode? Is that the idea? Or?
Well, usually we try and do 2 because we
Okay.
record every other week.
Right.
So usually we try and like stagger it a bit. But yeah, it just kind of depends on our schedules. Sometimes like there's some episodes where we've done like 5 movies, and it just depends, you know. I mean, there's like dry periods throughout the year where it's just like just trash is
definitely.
coming out, and then there's times where it's like 4 movies come out the same weekend.
Because
and you
all
gotta
the
prioritize.
studios tend to like try to get all their shit out for holidays and stuff.
Well, in the summertime,
Yeah, in the summertime.
Yeah.
So I don't know why all the major entertainment companies, okay, we can't release video games in the summer because people only go to the movies in summer. So all the movies come out in the summer and the video games come out in the fall. Like, why don't we just not do that? Just stagger these things, man. Whatever.
Yep.
I guess this is why I don't run the movie studios.
Well, it's spooktacular, fellas. Who's got something spooky for your boy over here?
Well, I mean, I told all my spooky stories last year. Nothing
you're right,
new
I told all
spooky
mine
has
too.
happened.
All right, you got anything spooky to tell us?
Like a
You've got
real
some
life
spooky, some real life
spooky-
spooky shit. It can be whatever.
I got nothing, dude.
Yeah, see,
Spooky?
Yeah,
the
same.
well is dry,
I've
man.
never had that.
The well's dry. I told my stories too.
I mean, Ara's been watching a spooky show a lot recently. She's gotten back into True Blood. That's a spooky show, right?
Barf. I watched
There's
that show
vampires and
Haunted on
shit.
Netflix,
The
and I was
new
kind of
episodes.
surprised when like they showed titties, and I was like, "Whoa, titties!" And I was like, because I thought it was like those old TV shows on like Discovery Channel. I'm not sure if you guys ever caught those when you guys were younger, but like they had like
Paranormal Witness. That's our favorite television program.
they had shows like that, and then they had shows like it was called like A Haunting, I believe. I
Yes.
watched that all the time. So when I saw Haunted, I was like, oh, it's like these shows. And I watched it, and then her fucking titties pop out, and I'm like, whoa! I was watching it with Haley, and I was like, damn.
It's Netflix, dude. You can
I was
do
like,
whatever
yeah,
the
do
fuck
whatever
you
they
want.
want.
Yeah, but then I realized that's a Netflix original. So I was like, that makes total
The
sense.
first half of Bojack season 6 came out yesterday. I've seen all 8 episodes already. So.
Damn.
You've already watched it?
The whole thing.
So Haley and I are actually going to be. I'm going to be Mr. Peanut Butter tonight.
Oh, yeah?
She's going to be Diane.
yeah. Okay. Now I've had my Bojack costume for years because I found a blue cable knit sweater that looks exactly like his at a thrift shop, and I'm like, well, that's like the one hard piece because the rest is just
It's pretty unique.
jeans
yeah.
and red Converse. So I'm gonna wear my costume to class on Halloween without the horse head and see if any of my students recognize who I am. dressed as
He went to work dressed as Bojack Horseman
with the horse.
fucking
With the
horse.
head. Nice.
But you can't wear a mask, so you obviously had to like put something on that like made the horse head go up here, like up over his head, and then over, so you bumping into everything.
Yeah, I was like
It just
17
looked
feet. I
fucking
was like 7 feet tall.
ridiculous.
I bought a. It was just like a styrofoam block that I shaved into a sphere, so that it because I have the horse head mat, the famous one, that one on Amazon, that the one.
Yeah.
And I shoved this like styrofoam ball into it, and then I got an old Amazon box and like duct taped it to the back so you could stick the Amazon box down the back of your shirt, and then I kind of fashioned a skull placement in the styrofoam ball so I could wear it. It would like sit up here, Like in season 1 when Wallace Shawn is dressed as Bojack. That's what I look like.
Maybe you just went as that guy instead.
I went as Wallace Shawn dressed as Bojack Horseman. That is
Yeah.
a deep cut. A
Cut.
deep cut.
If you told me that, if I walked up to you and I was like, "What's your costume?" You're like, "Oh, I'm actually Wallace Shawn as Bojack from Bo." I would just be like, "You fucking nerd!" Like,
I'd just be like, "You're a dick."
I'll show you afterward. I have a photo of me and my friend Katie. I was Bojack and she was Princess Carolyn, and our friend Ernie was Todd. And then we left him at a bar and we didn't realize for half the night. I'm like, this is so on
classic
brand.
Todd. That's awesome. But so no spoilers. But how are the first 8 episodes?
Oh, the first 8 episodes are great.
Yeah, that's
fantastic.
legit. Like I think one of the best shows I've ever seen. It's incredible.
It ends on like a serious cliffhanger, which is so annoying. Because
well, at least January is
January
when it comes
31st.
knows the exact date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because I finished
watch
it this morning, like 3 hours ago.
Ready for it. Yeah, one of my favorite Netflix. I keep almost saying exclusives. No shit, it's exclusive. But the original is The Kingdom. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
So it's like see, when I first describe it, it sounds super lame, but then it makes total sense why I watched it. So it's a Korean drama from like way back when, like, like obviously they weren't samurais in Korea, but samurai era. I don't know exactly what that era is called, so I'll just call it the samurai era. But it's a drama from back then
I'm surprised with how much of a weeb I am that I can't remember.
with this dude.
You knew what they were called in Korea?
No,
He's
era.
just a weeb.
The era.
Yeah, how do you not know that? Anyway, I think you should know that. But anyway,
I do somewhere in my brain.
It's a fucking zombie show, and you wouldn't know it unless you watched like the full trailer. But
Kinda like
I
the
mean,
Edo
if you were to see
period.
like the first 10
Yeah, there
seconds
it
or
is.
30 seconds,
Joe
of the
knows because
trailer.
he is a brain troll.
But honestly, it was like 6 episodes, and they were insane. Like, I didn't expect the zombies to be so insane and like intense. I thought they were going to be more of like an.
Wait, zombies?
I was stopped paying attention for 4 seconds.
I
and we go
told you,
from
I
samurai
just
to
told you,
zombies.
man. It sounds weird when I first describe it, but then it's like, oh, that's why Christian watched it. Because if it
Yeah.
has zombies that aren't fucking dumb, I'll most likely watch it. Because it's like,
What?
zombies became such a
Zombies are always dumb. That's part of being
no,
a
He
zombie.
could probably agree with me here. Like, zombies became such a saturated fucking market.
Oh,
where
yeah.
everything was zombies,
Video
and then they
games
just
too,
became
yeah.
a fucking joke. Like, I used to be so scared of zombies. And zombie movies like Dawn of the Dead, when they remade it and they're running and shit.
I like Shaun of the Dead.
I love Shaun of the Dead, but I'm talking about like low budget really got its hands on the zombie game, and they almost ruined it. It was very close, but then zombies made a serious comeback thanks
What?
to places like Korea.
What do you think is the scariest of those traditional movie villain type creatures? Is it zombies?
No, probably vampires.
Vampires?
I
What about you?
I don't think vampires are scary. At
I think
all.
Salem's Lot scared the fucking brakes off me so hard when I was a kid that I haven't watched the original, or like not the TV series, but like the original movie of Salem's Lot since I was a kid, and I said I will never watch that movie ever again. Now I feel like if I watch it, I'm gonna be like, wow, this movie sucks. The low budget, terrible, but it freaked me out when I was a kid, and then like the little vampire comes flying through the window to like eat his brother. God, that movie scared the shit.
What
out
about
of me.
you, Vito?
Wasn't there this one horror movie that was like a bunch of tomatoes eating people?
Yes, Attack of the Killer
Yeah,
Tomatoes.
I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay. What about you, Matt?
What's the question?
What's the scariest movie trope creature, zombies, vampires,
cheated.
etc.
Well,
Killer tomatoes.
Dude, 'cause it's not really a trope.
I would say probably possession movies for me,
Okay.
like a demonic entity like possessing somebody.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Although, like, when it comes to horror movies, we'll probably get into this a little later when we go over our list. But my like shit when it comes to horror movies is like home invasion stuff, because that's what scares me the most. Because I feel like it's
real
a
life,
real
man.
fear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like somebody could just break into your house and just like terrorize you just because. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that scares me the most. But yeah, probably like possession, demonic shit.
You're all wrong. The answer is werewolves.
Werewolves,
werewolves.
are scary, but
Yeah.
fuck.
Hey, you know what's scary? Wolves. What if they were 8 feet tall and had human brains and walked on 2 legs? Get out of here.
saturated market, man. Vampires too, but
What? There's not that many werewolf movies. They're adjacent to all the vampire shit,
there's a
but
fucking love
there's always
story
more.
involving.
I know, I stayed in a
vegan
hotel room
vampires
themed on
and
that
lame
shit.
ass werewolves. So obviously, when I say vampires, it sounds dumb. But then there's movies like 30 Days of Night. Those are the kind of vampires that I want no part of. But like if Edward was if that was what vampires were like, then okay.
He's terrified
yeah,
of
sure.
all the True Blood
That's fine.
vampires.
Yeah, it's like that's fine.
All the True
This
Blood
guy's just in love
vampires.
with somebody from fucking Forks, and you stayed in their suite.
Have you seen Train to
I did.
Busan?
Loved it.
Yeah?
It's one of my favorite movies.
It's another Korean
I
horror
actually
movie.
just
Zombie.
watched that last week.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that movie is pretty rad.
Yeah, I remember when that one, they had one movie theater that was showing it here, and it was in downtown. So you had to go downtown to go see it. And, oh man, that movie was awesome. I think if World War Z was done like that, I think it would have been a lot better. I didn't mind World War Z, but Train to Busan that's how zombie movies, in my opinion, should be. Because that shit was awesome, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Highly recommended.
When they get to that station, and they're trying to get to like where the military is, and they all go down the escalator, and they're just like a ginormous horde of zombies. Woo! I've dreamed about that too many damn times. Scares the
geez.
shit out of me. But yeah, it's on my list. I got it on my list.
So what are these lists you keep referencing?
So he's big in the movies, obviously.
Uh-huh.
And I've watched plenty of movies. So I told him to write down like a quick top 10 horror movies list, just so we could talk about it for the Spooktacular.
Did you know this was happening?
No, but
Neither
we
did
also
I.
don't watch horror movies.
That's
yeah, but
true.
I was like, I could tell these guys, but they don't watch movies because, one, Joe, you're
Hey,
scared,
I watch movies. I don't watch horror.
You don't
movies,
watch horror
though.
I don't watch movies. I ain't got time for that.
but you also don't like scary shit. So I was
Yeah.
like, why would I
That's
ask
true.
him that?
Although most of my movie knowledge is like
It's tough.
10 years
It's
old
tough
though,
for me
I
because
haven't like really watched movies aside from like Marvel movies
Marvel
since
movies.
like
Is your favorite movie Final Fantasy Spirits Within?
No, it's
not.
Final Fantasy 15 Kingsglaive.
obviously it's the Final Fantasy 15 anime.
Oh, that's not a movie though.
Yeah, I know.
It's a 4-episode anime.
So you have a quiz for us, Joe?
I do. That I thought you guys were gonna do your movie thing.
Oh, we'll get to the movies.
I do have a quiz. This is not on theme at all. The theme. This quiz is called "Is It a Fish?"
Oh, jeez.
I give you the name of something that may or may not be a fish. You tell me, is it a fish or not?
And is this because you got married at the aquarium last
This
week?
is because I got married at the aquarium last week. I saw many of these fish there, and some of them are made up.
I walked past the aquarium last week when I was fucking sad.
It was. You know, the aquarium's $35 now. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
That's a little spendy for an
That's
aquarium.
steep.
But
So what you got?
All right.
I'm about to win
So-
this quiz.
I'm not. There's no buzzers this time. These are all obviously going to be true/false questions. So each of you are going to answer. I'll tally up your points at the end.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Sweet.
Okay. So my first fish. Is it a fish or is it not a fish? A zebra fish. Start with Vito. Is a zebra fish a fish?
Sure.
Yeah, that's a fish.
Yeah.
Okay. That's true. True. True.
Well, obviously, when you say zebra fish, it's a fucking fish. Even though I already know what it is, but you should just say a zebra.
What?
You should be like, is there a
I
fish?
think
named
you'll
a
notice
zebra?
there's a pattern here. Foxfish. Is a foxfish real, Vito?
No.
I'm going no.
All right, now this is where it starts getting hard. I'm gonna go yes.
Okay. Oh wait, that's Christian over there. Okay, cowfish. Have you caught on to the theme yet? Let's start with Christian this time.
No.
No?
No.
No. Okay. Unicorn fish. Vito?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Sure. Matt?
Yeah.
Christian?
Yes.
Okay. Snailfish. Let's start with Matt this time.
I'm
Snailfish.
going yes on snailfish.
Yeah.
Okay. Vito
I
says
agree.
yes. Oh, everybody says yes this time. Christian, what about a parrotfish?
No.
No? Matt?
I'll go yes on that.
Also, yes.
Okay. And then the final one, goatfish. Shout out
Yes.
to the goats. Goatfish. Vito says yes.
I say no goatfish.
No goatfish.
No.
I'm saying it for the meme.
Okay. So, zebrafish is in fact a fish. You all get a point.
That was literally the only one that I was confident about.
Me
All
too.
the other ones
Yeah.
I was like,
I was like, oh, if it's all like this, it's gonna be easy.
So yeah, I
And
gave you the easy one
the
to start.
second one. I was like, oh shit.
Foxfish is in fact a fish.
Oh,
That's a point for Christian only. Cowfish, also a fish. Nobody got that one. So let's see. Unicorn fish. Okay, I'll just tell you, they're all fish. They were all fish. All of these are real fish. So let's see. Christian, 1, 2, 3, 4 points. Vito, 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And Matt has 1, 2, 3, 4 points.
killer.
It's a three-way tie. Is it a fish? Is
That was
it a
such random ass
fish?
test.
Yeah.
I stole that from the trivia guy. His were all like bonnet head and scoop head and mallet head. These are all
See,
different.
those sound more like fish.
Those are all types of hammerhead shark,
Oh.
which is a fish. So yeah. Anyways, I saw all of these fish at the aquarium, and I tried to make up some. Like I thought goat and foxfish weren't real, but I just googled them and they are. So I'm like, okay, is there literally a fish named after every animal?
And how was your wedding at the aquarium, by the way?
My wedding at the aquarium was great. I wore this outfit specifically, and we did not have permission, so
Wearing
people
blue jeans and a blue sweatshirt.
we did it right in front of the sea otters. Like while the aquarium was open, there were just strangers about. People walked through our wedding, and then they felt bad, and we're like, "No, we're doing this Gonzo style. Just pretend you don't notice." And then Colin was there. My mom flew in. 20 minutes later, when we came back to the sea otters, a aquarium official was standing there looking around, like, "Is something unsavory happening here?" It's like, "No, you guys, we just got married here. Relax, it's fine."
How long did it take?
10 minutes.
Yeah, I figured.
We rushed through it, man. I got like 4 photographs included. Oh, and all the sea otters came right up to the glass while it was happening, which was pretty funny.
Nice.
All 4 of them. I also found out recently there was a live cam of the sea otters. Oh, I talked about
you
this last
mentioned
week.
it,
Yeah.
huh?
I watch it in class every day. We went to Ivar's after. Shout out to Ivar's Acres of Clams. It's awesome. It was like $50 a person, but it was awesome.
Woo! For fucking Ivers, dude?
Yeah.
Isn't that like a step up of fast food?
See, this one was not. This one
Okay.
was more like
It's like
Anthony's or
established.
Ray's, like a real seafood restaurant. I had a halibut fillet. I mean,
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you don't get that. The green, like, fucking Duke's chowder cannon.
no. Duke's Chowder Cannon. I don't know how accurate that is.
But I don't have a quiz, but I have a list. And I'm sure you do too.
I do.
And after we get through these lists, we're going to ask you some questions. But I didn't tell him one question, and I think you know what that
think I
question
can guess.
is. So, I mean, with this one, it was just kind of like it was like a thrown together, like some of the ones that one are like some of my all-time favorites and then some of my recent favorites. So it's a healthy mix of both. But there's too many horror movies that I love to fit into 10. So it's like, there's so many good.
Sorry to interrupt,
movies.
but I did the math wrong. Vito, in fact, has 5. Oh, is it a fish points? Vito is it a fish champion?
Am I an official winner now?
Official? Yes.
Dude, that's rigged.
I'm looking at the scores right now.
This
Read
is
that
this is
shit.
fishy, dude. I don't like
Yeah.
it.
Hey-oh.
All right. So coming into my list, I've got 10. I mean, like I said, I've got A24 films in here.
You have 8 A20. Wait.
No.
Eight.
I said I have a 24 film.
Okay.
Another thing that I want to mention is you said your favorite kind of scary movies are like House Invasion. I agree. Those are real. I mean, those movies are fucking spooky. Like The Strangers. I got that one. I got
that
The
may be
Strangers.
coming up. Yeah.
I got The Strangers at number 10.
All right.
I think I've seen that movie a few times, and I remember when
And this
saw
is
it,
your
I'm still-
top 10 horror movies like ever?
No, not ever. It's just like it's like movies that I've seen recently / horror movies that I can watch all the time. So tied at number 10 was Green Room and Strangers.
Okay.
But it's not all time. It's just like my recent favorites. Like ones that I can...
Hedging your bets. Okay.
What?
Nothing.
Oh. You're giving me shit for my list?
I'm giving you shit for the it's not my top 10 ever. These are just 10 movies I really like a lot that I've put into a top 10
They're
list,
horror
but this
movies,
might
man.
change.
How am I going to list off my favorite horror movie? I love horror movies. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. What's your number 10? What do you got at number 10?
My number 10 is The Others, which is a spooky, like, ghost
With
haunted house
what was
movie.
that? Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, Nicole Kidman.
Ah.
It's haunted house. It's you guys might remember from the trailers back in the day. There's like a supposed to be a little girl wearing like a shroud over her face, and Nicole Kidman talking to her, and she's like, "You're not my daughter," and the little girl goes, "I am your daughter," and then the thing comes up and it's an old lady. Like,
I remember
spooks
that.
me out.
And so this one's a deep cut. And this one, Joe, since you're being a smart ass, this one is one of my favorite top 10 horror movies, even though it's not necessarily a big budget horror movie. It's called Murder Party. I don't know if you guys have heard of this.
It's the guy who did Green Room.
Oh, he did that? Ah, it makes so much sense. He got a bigger budget and made such a good movie. But what I loved about that movie was it was like such like a... I mean, it was like one of those where we picked up in the movie store for no reason at all, but it stuck around since I was a kid. I mean, I saw that movie fucking like 2005 or whatever, whenever it came out. And we rented it at like one of the only surviving movie stores here in Seattle. It's called Reckless. And
I drove past that place today.
yeah, still hanging around there. Still a real movie place. It's weird. You know, I never thought I'd say the day where having there be a movie store would be weird, but with
I'm
Netflix
spoiled. I
and-
live across the street from the Scarecrow. I mean,
Yeah,
can't
Scarecrow is rad.
yeah.
I can't believe the Scarecrow is like still.
Well, it's like a not for profit at this point. I mean, it's more of a institution and
Well, they had to do that
legacy
to stay
situation.
alive.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
That's what a lot of these like video stores
know.
are doing.
they do screenings like every day there. I mean,
Oh, nice.
yeah.
That place is cool. I've only been in there one time, but I don't live near there, so
Yeah.
it's like, and then parking for that place.
I literally
You
live
live
across the
right
street.
there, so it's a little bit easier for you. But I've heard lots of good things. I know Noodles, like he loved Scarecrow. You know Noodles.
Yeah, of course. Yes, I know.
You're giving me blank
No,
stares over there.
I'm
man.
just
You're freaking
tired.
me out.
You're
tired, I made you coffee.
I'm squinting at you because you're sitting in the dark over there. Yeah.
I need it, dude. I'm sweating like a fucking pig because I'm just sweating all that all that platinum 7 times distilled. It's been 8 times distilled now
But
because it just went through my system.
all right, let's keep this list moving.
Yeah, let's see here. Oh yeah, number
My
9.
turn now. My number 9 is Hellraiser. Super
Oh.
gross, graphic. Pinhead's a cool
Hellraiser.
character. It's super dark and metal, you know, just like the leather and stuff. It's just a gross movie, and I like that stuff.
I do too. I love that movie. I'm gonna do 8 and 7 together to kind of speed it up. But 8 and 7, they go together perfectly because it's Devil's Rejects at number 8 and House of a Thousand Corpses at number 7. I love
We had
Zombie.
this discussion.
I
last
love
year.
Rob Zombie movies.
I strongly disagree.
I fucking hate Rob Zombie.
Thank you.
I love Rob Zombie movies. Not only do I love his music and I love seeing him perform live, his movies kick ass. I love them. And they're graphic, they're gory, they're they're difficult to sit through in a way that I enjoy
Because they're
movies somehow.
bad films.
False. You have your opinions, man.
Let's throw 'em. Yeah, while I'm throwing out hot takes, Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie. All right,
Dude, we're on the same fucking page, dude. Last Jedi is amazing.
Whoa! Last Jedi was whack. Well, we could talk about Last Jedi.
I like the other one better than
I
the new
loved.
one.
I loved.
Which one? The
Force Awakens?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I
mean
loved Force Awakens, and I loved Rogue
A New
One.
Hope 2.0.
Yeah.
Rogue
Yes.
One was okay. Rogue One was fan
Rogue
service
One
to
was
movie,
cool.
but
I mean, it was.
I
like
really
a-
loved Rogue One.
I didn't like
Yeah.
Han Solo. I think Han Solo.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
That movie was fucking. I was like, I didn't ask for this, or I didn't like it.
I'm very concerned about Episode 9. I'm worried JJ is gonna just retcon everything from
I'm sure.
Force
it'll be
Awakens, all the good
fine.
stuff, or all the from Last Jedi,
All the
good
actually
stuff.
interesting stuff
yeah.
from
yeah.
Yeah.
No one cares. Spoilers, I guess. No one cares who your parents are, right? I'm like, yeah, that was an interesting twist. That was an interesting twist, you guys. No, she's still going to be Luke's daughter. That's just wrong. He was lying. I'm like, okay, calm down, nerds.
Well, we'll see what happens. I'm curious to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and combine my 8 and 7, even though they're not particularly
Yeah,
have
it's
much
fine.
in common. But at number
I'll just
8,
combine 'em now.
I have House. Does anybody know what this is?
House. I do know House.
There's 2 movies called House, though. Which one are
know,
you thinking of?
I'm thinking about the one where
I know
there's
the
like a
TV
fucking
show.
gross hand, where there's a gross hand ringing the doorbell. What's the other house are you talking
The
about?
house that I'm talking about is like a cult, like Japanese horror movie. It's not scary. It's really, really goofy. It's about like it's like Scooby Doo, but Japanese, basically.
I haven't heard of that one.
It is hilarious. Like every year around Halloween, I just get stoned and I just put this movie on and just have a ball every time.
There you go.
It's
Fuck yeah.
it's very weird, but makes me crack up. And it's like a haunted house type of thing. There's a like a ghost cat in it. Does some good work.
Okay.
And then my number 7 is Funny Games, which is
House Invasion movie.
Yes, and it's
Yep.
very meta, very fucked up. Makes me very uncomfortable watching it. Love it.
It's a fucked up film.
Yes.
But I do like it a lot. And I haven't seen I think that there's 2 versions. Because there's the original one and then there's
The American
the
movie.
American version. I haven't seen the American.
They're shot for shot the exact movie.
Oh, okay.
The only difference is the cast.
Yeah.
And in the language they're speaking.
So I guess
obviously,
it's
but-
like still good.
yeah, they're both awesome.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll check it out because I like it. So I might as well watch the remake. And
So
say-
you've only seen the original.
I've seen the original
Okay.
one, and I was actually referred to that movie. Somebody told me about that movie last year. So around this time last year, I rented it on Amazon. That caught me by surprise because I had never heard of it. I'm like, how have I never heard of this? I've got okay. So number 6, I was a little when I wrote the list, I was like, I gotta put this movie on here. It's Freddy versus Jason, because I can't tell you how many times I've seen that movie, and it scared me so bad when I was a kid. But even now, as a grown up, and I watch that movie, it cracks me up because Freddy, Robert Englund playing Freddy Krueger is awesome, and the movie is just a classic mashup of what I love. It's just stupid splatter gore, terrible acting, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoy it. What do you got?
Just as a side note, I also love that movie, but
Yes.
it's nowhere near my
Your top 10.
It's a fun movie to watch for sure. Like when that
jeez.
stupid worm thing takes a hit of the bong,
Yeah.
like it cracks me up every time. My number 6, It Follows, came out like 5 years ago.
Yep.
It's very like John Carpenter-esque, killer soundtrack.
Is that the one about the STD?
It's like basically a metaphor for an STD. They don't come out and say it.
But you passed the demon.
You
on
pass it on by
okay,
having
yes.
sex with
I've seen
someone,
this
yeah.
movie,
And then it follows.
Well, I saw half of this movie and then I fell asleep.
I love it. I love everything about this movie.
It's good. I like it too. And here's one for you. It's not. I can't say that it's a scary movie, but I guess you could label it as like House Invasion. So I'm gonna put it in there anyway. But it was a movie called. It just came out.
Home Alone.
I don't know why I'm
That's a
forgetting the
snuff
name of
film,
it,
man.
but I didn't put it on my list. But I didn't. I can't remember the name of it. But it was Bill Skarsgård's latest movie, where he and the girl from It Follows
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
So it was kind of like a. They advertised it as like sort of being almost a horror movie, but when I saw it, that movie was hilarious and it was also super intense. It was a lot of fun. Well, why can't I remember the name of that?
Where did you see it?
I saw it at Thornton at Northgate.
Oh, okay.
But I can't remember the name. What the fuck is the name? I'm going to look it up really quick. While I look it up, I'm just going to give you number 5. My number 5 is the original Wicker Man.
Not the remake with Nicolas
With
Cage.
That movie. Whew.
I only know it from memes.
Yes, that movie is just a ginormous meme. It's terrible.
But in a good way.
In a good way. So. In a good way, to a point where it's like you can watch it maybe once and enjoy how shitty it is, but then you're never going to go back to it.
Yeah.
And like,
it's one of those.
Yeah. It's a classic once, and that's about it.
All right, number 5, is that what we're on?
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project.
Oh, nice.
A lot of
the
people don't like
original?
this movie. Yeah. The
99,
original Blair
98
Witch
or whatever.
Project. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of people think it's boring, but I love that it like leaves it up to your imagination. And the end of that movie will never not give me goosebumps every time I watch. I've seen that movie probably 10 times, and every time the end of
I've
that
seen
movie
that
just
movie a
freaks
lot.
me the fuck out.
I actually just downloaded the video game, too. I don't know what it's all
The
I
new
about.
started
one?
playing it. It's I don't know. It seems cool. I put like maybe an hour into it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of
I got it
kind
for
of
free.
wonky,
I got it
but-
for free off Game
on
Pass.
Game Pass.
so
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I figure one of these times where I don't feel like playing the new Call of Duty, I'll probably just pick that up and play it. Is it like Outlast?
No,
Remember Outlast at all?
yeah, I played. I didn't finish that game, but I played it. It's not like that.
Okay.
You basically walk around in the woods with a flashlight and like solve a mystery.
Like Alan
Oh,
Wake.
it's a mystery. Oh, so it's like solving. Okay.
But there's
I
spooky
do
stuff
like
that
that.
happens. But
Right.
yeah,
Like Alan Wake.
kind of similar to Alan Wake.
I actually liked that game. The movie's called Villains, by the way. With
I knew
Bill
it
Skarsgård.
started with a V.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it.
It
but-
was a lot of fun. I recommend it when it comes out. Like Redbox, you can Redbox it. It's a good movie.
nice
So number 4, it's a movie called Apostle. Have you seen it on Netflix?
on Netflix. Yeah,
I like that. I love cult movies. I think cult movies are, when you say home invasions are your scariest thing, I think cults are probably what scare me the most.
yeah.
Just because there's just something about it where when there's a movie about their cult activity, you just don't have like fucking... I mean, they put these people in situations where it makes me uncomfortable to watch it, but I'll still watch it. And I know there's a movie coming up on my list that I know you hate, but it's on there. But
Can't wait to hear what it is.
And it's high up there.
Yeah,
high
we're
up
in, the,
there.
we're in the top half.
and all right, yeah. So that was number 4.
My number 4 was your number 10, The Strangers. There's a line at the end of this movie where the like antagonist asks the character like, "Why are you doing this? Why are you here?" And they say, "Because you were home." Like that just
fucking
gives me the
gross.
chills.
Creepy,
Like
yeah.
that's like my nightmare. It's like
Yeah.
people just fucking with you and breaking into your home just because they want to. You know, that movie freaks me out.
That movie was like so depressing off the get-go too.
Yes.
Like they come home and they're like having their relationship problems because didn't he propose to her and she
Turned
said
him
no?
down. Yeah.
And then they go back to the house and it's like
Always a rough look.
there's roses all over the bed and
Champagne.
there's champagne everywhere. You're just like, oh man. You know what really sucks is the second one was fucking garbage. And I knew it was going to be that way, but I still had to see it. I didn't see it in theaters, thank God, but they could make a movie like that good, a sequel, just because, you know, they had however long to make it. Yeah, the
Dogs are on
freak
our
out.
end.
It's just
Don't worry
part
about
of
the dogs. They're on our end.
It's
Power
part of
through
the
it.
Part of the atmosphere of the
part
show.
of the show. And so
But did you listen to last week's episode? Those yard guys were definitely coming through.
well, you know, shit, they're fucking standing right there, just blowing the door. Yeah. But Vito was right. You could hear them even without the headphones. He knows.
You
His mics
really?
are
They
fucking
really
picking
didn't pick
them
up as bad as it was. It was much worse in the room. It really was.
So my number 3 and my number 2. Number 3 is Hereditary, and number 2 is Midsummer.
Oh, is that what you were referring to?
That's what I was referring to. And I know you hated this because I saw it like a couple weeks ago, and then Haley told me that there was an Easter egg, so I was like, okay, I'll keep an eye out for it. And then she was like, oh yeah, we hated that movie. I was like, what? Why? Okay, so then I watched it, I loved it, but then I saw the face in the trees and
Spoilers.
well,
Yeah, you just ruined the whole movie,
Yeah,
dude.
the movie's
Face in
over,
the
dude.
trees.
fucking movie's over.
Hereditary is rad, but I fucking hate
Hereditary
Midsommar.
was so fucking good.
I watched
man.
up to the part where the kid gets decapitated, and I'm not watching this movie. I left
Oh, when
the
she's
room.
sticking her head out the window
Yeah.
because of her peanut allergy. or
People
whatever.
lost their minds in the theater.
I
when that
imagine.
happens. Like everyone's like, oh, they like gasped and
Very
screamed.
graphic
threw
and
me off.
unexpected.
Like, I didn't know how to respond because I thought she
That's
was
why
gonna
I
be,
just got up and left. I'm
thought
like, I'm
she
going to
was
my
gonna
desk.
be
babe. I'm not watching this movie.
I thought she was going to be like a big part of the film in terms of being alive, not getting her fucking head cut off by a
And
light
yield
pole.
sign or whatever it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it caught me by surprise. These fucking dogs, man.
Oh, is anybody up there?
Probably.
I don't know what they're like extra ornery today.
Well, that's
I don't know
because
what's up
fucking
with it.
Dexter's back home, so he's back home causing ruckus.
Oh, he was out for a while.
He
I
was out of the game. He
I
was at my
see. I
brother's house.
see.
Number one. Oh wait, Midsummer. Loved it. I don't know why you hated it. It's a good cult
It's
movie.
boring, dude.
Oh.
It's so boring and predictable. It looks good. Pretty
It's
looking
predictable.
movie.
It is predictable, and it did look really good. I like the colors in it.
Yeah.
And the whole movie's like kind of a drug trip.
The
type
drug
thing.
stuff was cool, like where the flowers look like they're breathing.
They're
and
moving,
stuff like
yeah.
that. That was
and the
pretty cool,
trees
fun.
are fucking like all cool patterns and stuff. I thought it was shot really well, but I could see where you could say it was boring.
I checked out like an hour and a half in, and it's like a 2.5 hour movie.
It's a 2.5 hour
so I was
movie,
like,
and the one,
Jesus.
if you get it on, if you buy it, you get the 3. It's like 3 hours.
yeah, the
something like
director's
that.
cut. You mean?
Yeah, director's cut's 3 hours.
No, thank you.
That's a little bit too long, but I'll still watch it. But it's still
Who's got that kind of time? Man?
still long. And then number 1, Train to Busan. We talked about it before, but I
Nice.
can't get enough of that fucking movie. I've seen it maybe 6 or 7 times since it's come out, and now that it's on Netflix, I'm watching it every time. I'm like, I'll get home, and Haley will go to bed, and I'm like, well, I'll watch a zombie movie. Put on Train to Busan. I think that's my all-time horror movie as of right now.
Nice. I've only seen it the one time. I should rewatch it. I loved it, but
Fuck.
the movie's pretty good.
It's fucking dynamite, man. I love it.
All right, I'll just cruise through these last 3. Number 3, it's kind of debatable whether it's a horror movie or not, but it's Eraserhead.
yeah.
David Lynch
Yeah.
movie. It makes me very, very, very uncomfortable. It's not really scary, but it's just like so strange and eerie, and the music. there's,
David
like,
Lynch.
Lots of droning. One of my favorites. Number 2 is The Exorcist. It's the movie that has scared me more than any other movie that I've ever seen in my life.
Possession,
Demonic
man.
possession. Yeah.
Still holds up. And then my favorite horror movie of all time, it is in my top 5 movies in general of all time. It's the original Halloween. Michael Myers is my favorite slasher icon. Love Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. The music, the
The
premise.
music is always so prime with those movies.
Everything about it. I fucking love it. I've seen Halloween probably 25, 30 times in my life.
It's a
The
classic.
Misfits song stuck in my head.
I used to have fucking nightmares of him chasing me all over the place.
The first time I saw it, I had a reoccurring dream for 2 weeks.
Oh,
where
God.
because I saw that movie in third grade. So for 2 weeks, I had a dream where I was like playing in the backyard with my friend, and then like a ring of fire just erupts around us in his backyard, and then Michael Myers just like walks into the flames, and like I would wake up right before he like stabs me. For 2 weeks, I was 8 years old.
No
fuck
no
that.
love for Cabin in the Woods, huh? My favorite horror movie.
I like
I
Cabin
liked
in the
Cabin
Woods
in
a
the
lot.
Woods.
Yeah.
What did you think of the remake of Halloween? Oh, not. Well, I mean, there's
Which
obviously
one?
Like the new-
H2O?
the new one?
the newest one.
I liked it a lot.
I did too.
You know what I fucking hate? Rob Zombie's Halloween.
I loved Rob Zombie's
Halloween 2 is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life.
Damn.
Halloween 2 maybe wasn't the best, but I liked Halloween 1 from Rob Zombie. I like that.
It's better than
Better than 2, but yeah, I won't put Rob Zombies in my top 10 list, but I did like him. I do enjoy him.
So I have an important to change topics pretty drastically. Now that I'm a married man, I have an important question for all the listeners and the Vito, who is also a married man.
That's
All
right. Oh my god, that's so weird.
Yeah, you're the only unmarried. Yeah, can you do this with your ring? Nope. Anyways, R and I are having a spirited debate about this. Now, I feel like as a newlywed, I should be entitled to make as many Borat references as I want, but they're starting to drive her crazy. So, what is the appropriate number of Borat references to make in a day as a married man? In 2019.
What's the relevance to being married?
Because I can
My
say,
wife.
yeah, exactly. What other Borat reference would I be making?
I don't know. That's why I was confused. Yeah, it's been an age since I saw that movie.
But you know it. So are you saying you've never said to...
How many times do you say it?
Like 20 times
I've
a
never
day.
I've never said
My
that.
wife.
My wife.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's starting to drive her crazy. She's like, that's enough. That's too much Borat. And I'm like, I get 2 weeks. And I think we settled on 1 week. So until tomorrow, I can say it as much as I want.
You
I asked my
you better
sister.
take
She
that.
said once.
Goddamn dogs. Sorry about the dogs getting in your episode, man. They love you.
Our argument is that Borat is such a dated reference at this point. But my
No
argument
way.
is that
Oh, shit.
Borat is a cultural touchstone for our generation. That
It is.
like, yeah, it's terrible, but
It
I'm
came
not.
out. It came out at a crucial time in like all of our age cycles. Like
I loved
everybody was.
Borat,
Yeah.
I only watched it like once, but it was great.
I even fucking loved. I loved Bruno. I love The Dictator. I just love that guy's movies. They're so dumb, but they're funny. You know. You know who tries to be like him is Adam Sandler when he's trying to be so funny, but it just doesn't work, dude. Zohan was a clear rip off of what Sacha Baron Cohen tries to do, but I did love the Zohan. I'm not gonna talk shit about that. It's like the
You have
one
the worst taste in movies.
That's like the one sort of current Adam Sandler movie that's funny, in my opinion.
And I
That
haven't
was a
watched
while
Adam
ago.
Sandler since like elementary school. I feel like.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was like, fuck, I can't even keep up with all the garbage he's been putting out.
And he's got that like 20 picture deal with Netflix. I mean, they just keep pumping them
Oh,
out.
it's terrible, man. Oh, that's scary. That's
All right.
fucking scary.
You gonna ask our questions for
I
our guest
am.
here?
I'm gonna ask my question. I'll let Vito ask the video game question since Vito and him can talk about some. Well, you can talk about the Switch too. I can't. I can't talk no.
I can't
Switch.
talk about the Switch. I've only played like one game for like 12 hours.
Well, you still have it anyway. But
Yeah.
well, anyway, I'll ask you what's your favorite sports moment of all time. I see you wearing that LA hat, man.
Yeah, I'm not going with the Dodger moment. There's been a lot of bad Dodger moments for me in the past 10 years. I'm going with 1998, Orlando, Florida, King of the Ring, headlining Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker and Mankind,
Holy
throwing
shits.
Mankind off the top of the cell through the announcer's table. That's my all-time sports moment.
It's our first ever
That's
WWF.
our first ever. Yes,
Yeah.
that's fucking awesome.
I love football, I love baseball, but for me, like, I was a huge wrestling fan growing up.
Dude, wrestling
And
is
it
awesome.
blew my 7-year-old mind watching that live on pay-per-view.
I think
it
my
made an
buddy still
impact.
has that on DVD. He's got the DVD. He's got like all the fucking big.
All the pay-per-views.
Oh, he's got it.
See,
all.
I didn't get into wrestling till like, I guess it was right around then.
It's
But
still real to me.
I
damn
never
it.
could watch any of the pay-per-views. So you see all the lead-up matches and then the aftermath, and I'm like, I feel like I missed something really important. And then they'll show like the highlights and shit. But my mom wasn't paying $40 so I could watch like The Rock and Triple H go at it. Like, no, it's not gonna happen.
I really wanted to like go when they came to Everett. I think it was SmackDown that came to Everett.
Like recently,
It was like within the year, I think. I know my brother went to it and he said it was just nuts. But he said it was a fucking blast, so I was jealous I didn't get to go. It was like on a Thursday, and I had to work at 5 a.m. the next day. I was like, I'm not going to go get hammered and watch wrestling and then have to wake up for work.
apparently the WWE 2K20 game is like a hot mess. Like it's total broken garbage.
Some of the videos that people have been sharing of that game are hilarious. Like, it's broken
It's
as hell.
bad.
I have 2012.
Did you hear about the new Fallout 76 controversy?
Oh, no. Wait, is that where
I
they
didn't
have...
know
sub-
anybody still played that game.
Is that fucking the
No,
subscription?
they're not going to anymore.
Are
Yeah,
you talking
remember
about-
how they said no paid DLC? Now they're locking shit behind a $15 a month subscription window.
That's just the private servers, though, isn't it? I think the
it's
base game is still
but
free.
they also changed the Atom shop or whatever so that it's not all cosmetics, which is what they promised for months in the lead up to it. That their paid content was all just going to be cosmetic, and then they're like, "Yeah, we have to change our model because nobody's playing this stupid game."
Then fucking drop the game and make something good.
Well, that's what the Outer
Worlds.
Yeah. Well, who decided in the same year they're going to release a game called The Outer Wilds and The Outer Worlds? They were vastly different games. That's a bad idea.
Not even the same year, like within like 4 months or something. Like
Same quarter. I want to play them both, but I always mix them up.
Speaking of games, what's your favorite game?
Favorite game of all
This is
time.
why I planned that transition.
Very smooth transition. It's gonna be Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker.
Yup.
It's
Okay.
my favorite game ever.
I really love that part at the end where you have to collect all those treasure maps. Hey, you know this red fish you've been ignoring for the last 10 hours? I'm crucial to the story. Let's grind for 10 more hours.
Yeah, that was
great.
pretty brutal. But they fixed that in like the Wii
I know.
U like
I
remaster.
know.
That's my perfect video game. I mean, that's my favorite video game series of all time. And Wind Waker is.
We've
is
had a
tops
lot
for me.
of Zelda
Yeah.
folks. Like we've had multiple different Zeldas be people's
I've actually
favorites.
never played a Zelda game.
What?
I don't think
Ever?
Yeah.
You get Breath of the Wild yet?
I just haven't been a console person. No, I haven't bought it yet because I'm still playing the other game.
What are you?
Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem.
Fire
still?
Emblem, yeah.
I put probably like 80 hours into that game.
I haven't
Yeah.
finished it.
I think I've put like
Never finished it.
I
12 hours
grinded
into it.
too much, and I'm so over leveled now. I'm like, it's just boring.
Just cruise
You
through
gotta
it. I did the
grind
same
through it.
thing.
yeah.
And then I was playing it on the bus for a while, but now the bus is too crowded, and I have Apple Arcade, so I just play my Apple Arcade again.
I just got Apple Arcade like a week ago. That's
pretty awesome.
What are you playing?
I was playing What's the Golf, but I finished it. Now I'm playing a lot of Grindstone.
That's
and,
what I'm playing is Grindstone.
Yeah, it gets fucking
It's
hard,
addicting
though.
as
You can tell that it was designed to be a free-to-play game, too, because it gets fucking hard.
Yeah, I'm on like level 70. I
Okay,
think.
you're way past me then. Jesus.
Oh, it's only just now getting hard for me.
Oh,
Do you just suck at Grindstone?
Maybe. I'm really bad at those last 3 games.
most likely.
Shots fired.
I don't even
Damn.
want to know what it'd look like
Well,
if I tried to play this.
what's
game.
your
I don't even know what
loadout
this
then? What
game
should I be
is.
using? I feel like I'm...
I don't really mess because I feel like most of the blueprints I get.
All the
find
one-time
aren't
use
useful.
ones they're terrible because they cost too many fucking stones
I
to
thought,
up to
thought
reuse.
Grindstone was a dating app.
That's Grinder,
That's
man.
right.
Oh, Jesus.
I usually just use like the shield. It's like you have a chance to dodge,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's one of the potions is like you can move to anywhere
Yeah.
on the field.
Okay,
because
yeah,
that's
that one is
cheap to like
powerful.
refill. You know.
Just some of those maps when you get those fucking... It's the ones with the bats that drive me nuts because I spend 2 turns setting up a perfect move and then, I just killed it. Oh,
Yeah, I did have a hard time with the bat one, but that game's pretty cool.
yeah. All right.
Are you gonna ask the
Oh, you want
the
me?
2 questions?
All right. Do you want to do the surprise one first?
No.
Okay.
No.
Surprise comes after. It ties in. It relates.
So what is a perfect album to you?
Perfect album for me is Jane Doe by Converge. They're like a hardcore band,
Okay.
and they're very, very. If someone who's not into metal were to listen to them, it's a lot of. It would probably just sound like noise because the guy's voice, he sounds like an animal. Like he's got such a gnarly voice, but I love it. I think it's perfect.
Demon, yeah.
The lyrics are incredible. Not that you can understand what he's saying. But, you know, looking at the lyric
You
sheet.
read the liner
when I was a
sheets and
kid.
liner notes,
It's one that has been one of my favorites for probably 13 years, 14 years at this point.
Damn.
I love it. It's perfect.
I think I saw Converge with Hell on Fire, or yeah, I think that's what that band's called. High on Fire.
High on Fire.
High
yeah.
on Fire,
That would make
and then
sense.
Death Clock, all at the WAMU Theater.
Wasn't Mastodon on that tour too? Or no, that was a more recent.
That was
tour.
a more recent, but I have seen Mastodon. I saw Mastodon at Mayhem Fest back when that used to roll around here.
Oh yeah, that was probably what, like 6 years ago or something at this point.
That
7
was
years.
2009. Summer of 2009 was the first Mayhem Fest.
That was
and
the Scion sponsored one, right?
and that was with no, it was Rockstar Energy.
oh, okay, yeah. I know
And
what
that
you're
was the
talking
one
about.
where like Slipknot was the headliner, and then before them was Dragon Force, and then before Dragon Force was Mastodon, and that was like main stage, and then they had all the other bands throughout the day. But the second year was where it was like, that was the prime time. It was like Hatebreed and Chimera were both playing in like the, the smaller stages, and then Shadows Fall, and then some screamo band that got like booed off the stage. I can't remember what they were called. They were like emo screamo. Emo
screamo.
They were terrible, but I've never seen something like this before. Like, they got up there, they played like 3 songs, and everybody was like, get the fuck out of here.
Was it like The Devil Wears Prada or some shit like that?
Not quite. They were like, God, why can't I remember? I can't remember the name because I know that it had something. There was like an animal in there, or like
something about an animal.
Something about an animal.
Maybe
like,
a mythical creature, perhaps.
Like veal, or like a blood, or some blood.
Don't look at me.
Something like
the
that.
The Blood Brothers?
Not the Blood Brothers. I don't know who the Blood Brothers are, but it's not them. I can't remember who it was. Like, fuck. Never mind. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna forget about them. But they were fucking terrible. They got booed off, and then Cannibal Corpse came on the stage 15 minutes after them. So it was, if you're playing before Cannibal Corpse, you're fucking up.
You're fucking up.
Unless you're like Nile and shit. I don't know how much metal you listen to, but I love metal in terms of like when I was like younger. That was like my prime metal days.
Yeah,
I'll listen to it now still, but just not as much as I
think you're more of a country guy recently, right?
Well,
Country.
but speaking of metal bands from Christian's youth, what are your thoughts on late 90s / early 2000s new metal powerhouse Limp Bizkit?
Oh. I've been known to break stuff
Yes.
from time to time.
Yes. Fucking love that answer. That's a good answer.
Yeah. Limp Bizkit's cool, I guess.
Hell yeah. I told you, dude.
You're very ambivalent.
I love them when I was, like
Younger,
12 years old or whatever.
Yeah, hell
but
yeah. Me too, man.
I have, I like that, like System of a Down, Limp Bizkit, Korn, like that was like my middle school shit. There's some nostalgia for Limp Bizkit.
I think my like consistently like always good to listen to, like always come back to at some point since like high school band that I've been listening to has been Avatar. They're a melodic death metal band from Sweden.
Avatar?
Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, they're really good.
They're like blue.
Like the fantastic James
They
Cameron
come
movie,
from-
right?
They come from
They're
a
9 feet
planet.
tall.
No, Christian.
Unobtainium. That doesn't sound
They're also
stupid
not
at
the
all.
last Airbender.
They've got bald heads with arrows on them.
They have sex with their ponytails, and they also ride horses with their ponytails.
But they've got a lot of they're like main person has like face paint, and they like have like circus themes to a lot of their songs.
I saw the James Cameron movie.
You're gonna make Vito fucking get up and strangle
But
you.
they're like really good. Their screaming has like tone when they do scream, and they also have a lot of the melodic part really is really done well, and then their heavier parts are just like so just dirty.
I didn't know melodic death metal was a thing. I'd never heard of that before.
Yeah,
That was like my jam in high school, like Darkest Hour, At the Gates, like that. Those are melodic death metal bands, right?
I don't know them, but yeah, probably.
Yeah. I'll check them out. Are they still like active, or is this?
I think they had like 2, maybe 3 albums when I was in high school in 2012-ish is when I started listening to them, and they've had 2 albums since then, I think, and they've just recently, I think, like within the last year or so, been doing tours out like over here, because they're based in Sweden.
That's where all the best melodic death metal comes from.
Yeah.
That's where At the Gates is from.
There you go.
They are the OG melodic death metal band.
What is
like
the
mid
connection
90s.
with Scandinavia and metal?
Vikings.
It's cold. It's fucking
That's a
freezing
valid
out there,
answer,
dude.
I suppose.
Also
The
burning
Vikings.
churches.
Yeah. I watched an awesome documentary on death metal band Mayhem,
Oh yeah.
and like I mean, black metal or death metal, whatever the fuck you want
Yeah.
to call it. But I watched a really good. I mean, there's obviously that piece of shit movie that came out called
Lords of Chaos.
Yes. Did you see it?
I didn't know.
It looks like shit. And you know the guy, Burzum from Mayhem. I can't remember his real name, but it's in the back of my mind. But I'm just gonna say Burzum.
Varg Vicarnus.
Yeah,
or something?
Varg, I think his name is. So they interviewed him about that movie, and they showed him the preview, and he was fucking furious. He had a lot of choice words that I'm not gonna say on the show, but they were pretty bad. But I watched the documentary on him, and it's literally like burning churches and like just a bunch of gnarly shit. Like the way that Burzum killed. I can't even remember their name. I can't pronounce
They
their
all have
fucking names.
gnarly
There's like it
names.
looks like somebody walked across the keyboard and spell these guys' names. So, but Burzum killed fucking what's his dick, and then the other guy, fucking the lead singer who was like 19, blew his brains out, and they used his suicide as like an album cover, like the real.
Oh yeah,
picture.
you talked about this.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
fucking gnarly. But I watched a documentary on it, and it was like free on YouTube. It was shitty low quality, but I was like, yes. Then Vice tried to do one, and then they followed some band I didn't really care about, so I stopped watching it. But Mayhem documentary, I recommend that if you're into that death metal, cold Scandinavia type shit, like burning down churches and
That's
the
your
normal
thing,
shit,
yeah.
the normal things, taking photos out in the woods, dressing up, putting like scary face paint on, taking a bunch of photos in like snowy woods and shit. Prime time.
Sounds like a good weekend to me.
Yeah. Shit, we're gonna do that right after this episode. We're just gonna go out to the woods, go scare
Take
the neighbors.
photos.
That's right.
You're an interesting character, man.
Who?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Is it because I'm wearing my Belichick fucking sweater right now, or sweatshirt?
Like,
Sweatshirt. Shirt.
You are. It's hard to tell because you're sitting in shadow.
It's
you
a
insisted
shirt.
we turn off all the lights in here.
It's a shirt, but it's a sweatshirt.
I see. It is a Belichick hoodie.
It's a Belichick. I love it. Speaking of Belichick, they traded Michael Bennett.
I know. I
see
saw
that?
that.
That dude's he's a great football player, but when you get that guy in the locker room, he breaks teams down. And you know who doesn't put up with that shit?
Bill Belichick.
That's right. That's right. Look at what happened to Demaryius Thomas, man. They brought him in, they signed him, they cut him, they re-signed him, and then traded him to the Jets.
Wait, did that happen?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't pay attention.
And so they did that. He felt disrespected. And then Josh Gordon hasn't really produced anything because he was on my fantasy team. So that's most likely why he wasn't doing shit. And then he gets hurt, of course, after giving me like 2.5 points. But he was hurt, but they never said like he was like crucially injured. And then he was, practicing and shit. And then Belichick puts him on injured reserve and brings in Muhammad Sanu. Yeah. So see you later. Good riddance, Josh Gordon. You're out. You're on your way out of New England as well. I mean, people can talk shit about the Patriots all they want, but if teams want to win Super Bowls, man, they have to start looking at how New England runs their system. They have the best system in the game. It clearly shows because they're going to go back to the Super Bowl this year, and if I'm being realistic, they're going to fucking win another Super Bowl. Just because who in the AFC is going to stop them?
The AFC or the NFC?
Who in the AFC is going to stop them to get to the Super Bowl?
Oh,
Nobody.
Yeah, and then who in the NFC?
The 49ers.
Maybe no.
I don't think the
49ers.
49ers could be them.
No.
Best team in the league.
49ers
the San
have a
Francisco
great-
49ers.
49ers have a great defense.
It's not as good as the Patriots defense.
You think that you're just proving my fucking point.
What?
Why are you arguing with
Because Jimmy Garoppolo is like the better Tom Brady, man.
me? Dude, he's got 7 touchdowns and 6 interceptions.
Tom Brady is like 50 fucking years old. Eventually, this is all going to fall apart, all right? It's going to happen.
Once they lose Brady, yeah, but Brady ain't going nowhere.
You know, I haven't watched a snap of football this year. I'm very proud of that.
I bet you are.
I'm not gonna watch any.
Why? Why aren't you going to watch football?
Daniel Jones is fucking awful. As I said, he had that one good game and everybody lost their shit. Oh, look, he's terrible.
He's better than fucking what's-his-face from the Redskins.
Haskins?
Haskins.
Because because Washington is the worst run team in the NFL, man.
So are the Giants, and at least he was able to produce a couple wins and touchdowns. He doesn't only produce 3 interceptions in his first 5 minutes of football. He's just Nathan Peterman for fucking...
Because the Giants have put money into their offensive line. He doesn't get sacked after 1.5 seconds like Haskins does the second he touches the ball, man.
So we were
Look
talking
at fucking
about
Deshaun Watson. As soon as they got an offensive line that could protect him, he's going off, man. Like,
So we were talking about it, and we were saying how the Seahawks aren't going to keep it. They aren't going to blow the fucking Falcons out tomorrow, which really frustrates me because I think that they should go there and drop 40-plus points. With that defense, it's just completely in shambles. And finally, just cut the old life cord of Dan Quinn being the head coach in Atlanta. It was great to begin with, but Dan Quinn can't be a head coach because, holy shit, that team has just... How do you have that much talent? Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Mohamed Sanu, used to have Mohamed Sanu, Devontae Freeman.
Fucking crazy.
How do you have all of that and not win fucking football games? I don't get it. But they play the Seahawks tomorrow. Matt Ryan's out, so you said who? Matt Schaub is coming in.
I can't believe Matt Schaub is still playing football.
I can't believe that either.
That's crazy.
He played on the Texans, right?
Yes.
Like, when he had his heyday, air quotes.
He did have a heyday. It's weird.
He was decent for a season.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you look back, I think it was almost probably 10 years from now, 2009.
Yeah, probably.
Matt Schaub was in the MVP
wasn't
race.
he a backup? Oh no, yeah.
And then
he
all
was
of a sudden,
like Matt Ryan's backup or someone's backup, but then he blew up, and then he went to Houston, and got a big contract. That's what led to the Matt Flynn contract, which really paid off for you guys, right?
Oh, that's a headache. Fucking Matt Flynn. They paid him so much money to just come here.
He never played a game. Yeah.
Never played a snap. Never played a regular season snap.
Well, the preseason doesn't mean anything.
Well,
It's meaningless.
it's not meaningless.
It is meaningless.
Preseason's important.
False.
And you know why?
No.
Because there's a lot of rookies on there. And if you're going to cut half your fucking team, you have to look at what some of these rookies look like. They would have cut Ben Burke-Kirby. They would have cut Cody Barton because obviously, Michael Kendricks is a better player than Cody Barton. But you can see how these guys are going to develop under the system. And you can see how they work. You can see that Ben Burke-Kirby is going to be a great linebacker for special teams and eventually weasel his way into a couple of plays here and there. You can see how Hugo Amadi is a good player in special teams as well in terms of returning the football and or putting him in the nickel position in your defense. I think that there's so much to see in the preseason. Obviously somebody that watches football from fucking 10 a.m. until, 8 p.m. when it's over, I enjoy the preseason in terms of seeing players that I don't think any starters should ever play in the preseason, but I do think it's a perfect time for young rookies to really get their chance to make it to
Injure
different
themselves.
teams. So then what? Week 1 comes around and injuries just stop?
They don't injure themselves in meaningless games.
Come on.
It's important for the team, but as a spectator, I couldn't give two shits.
Why
about
couldn't they just
watching
have
a
an
preseason
offense
game.
versus defensive scrimmage? Why do they have to play some other person who has why does it even need to be full contact? What does that help that you can't see in a tackling drill? Again, not against an opponent who has no incentive not to attempt to injure you.
They're not out there to injure people.
But
They're out there to
again,
play football.
when you're playing against your own quarterback, you're not going to hit him, right?
Well, Russell Wilson's not going to play in the fucking preseason anyway. And if he does, it's for 3 plays.
Yeah,
And that's it.
I don't see the point.
I'll listen here. I'll write you a fucking book on why it's important. But I'm not going to
write
get
it
into
on your sports blog, man.
I will.
Are you going to talk about your sports blog?
Hey, the sports blog is good. It worked out. And by the way, big shout out to Haley for editing that paper because the way that I write is the way that I talk. So when I wrote her, I was like, listen, you don't have to do this, but I'm going to send it to you and you can read it. And if you decline it, I'll fully understand. I'll fucking just post it the way it is. But it was, I mean, the content was there, but the grammar is so bad. I don't have good grammar. I didn't go to school for it, but I can still write how I talk, so that's just how it is. But it's pretty funny because when you read the article, it literally sounds like I'm talking to you.
It is very much in your voice.
Yeah.
It is very much.
But big shout out to that website. Big shout out to Haley for doing that. Thank you for letting her edit that fucking terrible paper.
Yeah, let the leash out a little bit so she could edit your blog post.
So like, holy shit! I mean, if somebody were to send, my girlfriend something like that, want to be like, you should edit this just for fun. Granted, she went to school for it. She loves it. That's what she told me. So that's why I was like, okay, I might as well. But like, if I were to read it, I'd be like, oh my God, where the fuck do you even start? Holy shit. I don't even know. I'd be like, you know what? You're on your own for that one. I don't know where to start with that. But no, big shout out to her. That's awesome. Thank you for bringing the beer too, man. It's awesome.
My pleasure.
But I think we're about to wrap it up here.
Let's do it.
I don't know how long we've been recording, but I don't really care.
1:15.
It's not really as spooktacular, but hey, 1 year anniversary.
It's still extra. I mean, it's not as beefy as the 2-hour special with my mom last week.
Yeah, that was
still a long episode.
I can't believe that was 2 hours. Jesus.
Yeah, it was a long one.
We probably could have done 2 hours today if we didn't record so late.
I agree.
Sleep. I'm tired.
But like,
Everybody, but then he's all sleepy.
after work.
You're all sleepy.
Yeah, and he had to work. Not like last week when he called out and then I just went to his house and picked him up. I went to work to say hey, and then he called out, so I just went to his house and got him and came over here.
Well, Matt, thank you for joining us, and it's awesome that you do your podcast. Keep it up with the movies, man. I know I'll definitely have my opinions in some of these movies when I see them. That is, like, I really want to see Ad Astra. I think that's going to be next on my list when it comes out. But I don't go to the theaters. So I let you do that for me, and I'll listen.
Actually,
to your
wait. Before you wrap, Black Panther, good movie or bad movie?
It's a good movie.
Thank you.
Owned.
Corny, dude. That movie's corny. I didn't have it. Look, I'm not saying that it can't be a good movie. I love the character himself. The guy that plays Black Panther, he does such a good job. And he's awesome. I just think the movie was so corny, dude.
It's a superhero movie. They're all corny.
It's like double the corny, dude. When he's beating up on fucking NyQuil, dude. Forrest Whitaker. NyQuil Dayquil.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
But
man.
I know what you're talking about.
NyQuil Dayquil.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
No idea.
He's dropping a meme reference.
Yeah, it's a total meme reference. We're living in the meme this episode.
Yeah.
But
Embrace the meme.
But like I don't like Michael B. Jordan that much as an actor to begin with, but then how corny he was as Killmonger, I was just like, oh my
He's the best part of that movie.
Yeah,
dude.
I know.
Yeah.
Christian's crazy. Christian doesn't like relatable villains, man. He's crazy. It's like they need to be purple and like evil for no reason. Even Thanos. Hashtag Thanos was
Thanos
right,
rules.
man.
You can't get a cooler villain than Thanos.
Yeah.
That guy was a big meme for a long time too, especially when people were calling him Daddy.
I'm gonna have to.
This is a little
I'm gonna have
fucked
to call
up.
you out on the villain. You're not gonna recognize the villain. I'm gonna say is a much better written villain, but it's from Final Fantasy XIV. Emmett Selk. You'll probably find out later. Joe,
I mean,
but-
what the fuck's the guy? Yatsutsu or whatever. The woman who was running Doma, she was pretty good. Actually, like I said, the entire
Final Fantasy, I don't like
the entire Stormblood story is a really interesting takedown on authoritarian governments and how
true.
they operate and how they're allowed to exist.
Yeah.
And the way people deal with having autocratic
I
authoritarian
just like Call of
rulers.
Duty
It's
villains.
really interesting.
What?
Oh yeah,
You
like
play
that
a-
guy
the
who
other
somehow
guy?
survives a helicopter crash.
You play a whole campaign, you shoot him in the face at the end of it.
Call of Duty is a multiplayer game. Your enemy is the guy sitting next to you.
Well, there's a campaign in this new one. I can't wait to play it. I'm probably not going to play it until like next year, but I'll get to it.
Remember the end of Modern Warfare 2, where in the end of this first-person shooter game, you kill a guy by crawling to him and throwing a knife in his neck or whatever? Yeah, that made sense.
Fucking rad, dude.
That game was terrible.
I was also on the best. I was also on the best multiplayer map of the Modern Warfare era. Rust.
I still cannot believe. I cannot believe that we did a top 10 Final Fantasy / top 10 Call of Duty episodes. That is a real thing we did.
That's a real thing because I can name you top 10 Call of Duty because I fucking love games.
Right.
I love shooter games, man, especially Call of Duty.
wrap
But
it
I
up.
still need to play the new one a little bit more before I can finally give. I'll be giving a review on it next week. You guys obviously came in and saw me playing it. It looks really pretty, like
I told you I'm hoping to launch the website redesign by the end of the year, so maybe you can
nice.
start. It will include
Writing
space for
reviews.
your game reviews.
Oh, hey
yeah.
Joe, have you seen the new like trailer and content and stuff for the 7 remake?
No.
Oh yeah, there's more stuff.
I've gotten ready as silent. I know I'm going to play it, so I'm also strongly considering buying Final Fantasy X for the 10th time. So I haven't played the Switch version yet. I've played every other version. So
Do you play
That's
Final
hilarious.
Fantasy?
Final Fantasy X. I didn't finish. I literally went into like the sin
that's the end of the game.
under leveled and I couldn't beat it. So I gave up.
well,
Well, you
I
can
spent hours
leave. You
trying to
can
beat
leave Sin and come back.
it. Not. I feel like I couldn't.
You
Not from
can.
where I saved.
Oh well.
Maybe I'm
Gotta
just
run
stupid,
back and forth
but
and level up.
I just
then,
got
man.
frustrated and I quit. I ended up watching like a YouTube video later. but-
It's literal end of the game.
No, the only Final Fantasy game I've ever finished is 13. Like the first
It's
one.
the worst one.
It wasn't horrible.
Terrible.
If you
I
played
never
any of the
finished.
other games, you'd be like, "Wow, it's a shit game."
Well, I basically finished 10. I didn't finish the final boss. Final Fantasy 6. Got like halfway through that. Yeah, I wasn't much of a Final Fantasy.
Wait, you only got halfway through 6?
I never finished 6 either.
Whenever
I
it
got to
goes to, like, the dark world
turn,
or
yeah,
whatever.
and then
Okay.
I stopped playing.
Yeah, me too.
the world of chaos or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
It's like the best part.
I just
It was too. I didn't know what to do because you can do whatever. There's like it's totally wide open at that point. So I was like,
Well, yeah.
where should I go first? Oh, I can't figure. Okay, whatever. I got.
We're
other
done
stuff to do.
You gotta beat God
played
Kefka.
a single second of Final Fantasy. I don't even know.
You
got to
play 14 with us, man. We'll get you through.
I don't
Yeah.
even know where to
Just
start.
buy the
man.
level
Dude,
skip potions.
you should obviously start with the most popular one. Just get
Is it
7.
cross-platform yet?
What?
14.
14?
Yeah. Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
shit.
It always has been, yeah.
Oh.
It just isn't on Xbox.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then how the fuck am I gonna play?
You got a laptop.
Get a good gaming
This
system.
laptop runs it, man. You'll do just fine.
No.
Get good.
You
Get a good gaming
you can
system.
Come join our guild.
I'll stick to
man.
my cross-platform Call of Duty game for
Snore.
now. Oh, but I'll give you guys a little bit more on that next episode because
Call it booty.
I can't.
Maybe
talk
I'll
about
have
it too
played a
much.
new game at that point. I am almost done with Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance, so it's almost time to start Kingdom Hearts 3. Finally.
That's so funny. I bought the game after you and finished it before
Yeah,
you
'cause
started.
I said I was going to play all 10 of them before I started Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah, but you were like, I feel like halfway
you
or
do
like
that to
75%.
I had
The more
I
I,
had
think
more
about
free
it, the more miserable that makes me.
I was working from home at the time. Now I have an actual job. It's way harder to find time.
I want to thank you again, Matt, for joining us today.
yeah. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Listen to Cinephiles Digest.
Yep.
New episode is going to be The Lighthouse, and we're going to do our top 10 horror movies of the decade as opposed
nice.
to of all time. So
There you go.
check her out.
Where is it on iTunes, Spotify?
Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher,
All the regular
everywhere you can find
spots.
podcasts. We're not on YouTube, but
You're not on YouTube?
It's too much work.
Who's your wait?
You just don't work.
Yeah, who's your we'll talk about this off air.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, folks, for joining us. I am Christian, and there's Joe over there,
Hey.
and Vito, and we're signing off.
Later.
Boo.